attention. This is a really interesting concept. This word can be used as an order, such as pay attention, or it can be used as something we avoid, as in not wanting to draw attention to myself, or it can be a question that guides our lives. Where do I put my attention? And this is essential because the question is, what am I doing with my life? And what I'm doing with my life is where I'm putting my attention. So if I'm spending this time, especially over the time here the last few weeks or even months, where we have been spending a lot of time at home and not doing our normal activities and behaviors, we we have our attention everywhere. Many of us may be going outside and taking walks or working in the yard. We may be reading a book, or we may be binging on Netflix or some other video, or playing video games. The question is, where am I putting my attention and what am I looking for to happen from that? So when I put my attention on one thing, what happens to everything else? Well, as we saw in the previous picture, there's this tree, and if we have our full attention on that one tree, we're not really seeing what's around us. If our attention is broader and it's looking at all of this as we see from this bird's eye view, do we see any one individual thing? So what happens when we pay attention to one thing or another? And do we have a big picture of our lives in the world? Are we paying attention to that big picture? Or are we paying attention to the little thing that's right in front of us at this moment? And that's a really important aspect of what we choose to think about and what we choose to do in our lives. What happens to everything else if we get so focused on one thing? What happens to having a real thought process or a real benefit, a real productive aspect to our lives if we just take this broad view and don't really see anything? And then the big question is, am I aware? Am I aware of what I'm actually looking at, what I'm putting my time and attention into as part of my life? Because that's really the key question, awareness. When a person's aware, when they really are able to kind of know what their focus is and know what they're doing with their life, with their time, because time is our lives. That's all that we really have is time. And what are we doing with it? And am I aware of what I'm doing with it? Because that is really a key to what happens in our lives, is our awareness. Am I spending my time doing something I really want to do? Am I spending my time doing something because I'm bored or I don't know what else to do? I'm stuck in my house and I can't go anywhere. I wanted to go do something out in a public place, enjoy the beach, or go to a movie out in the theater, and I can't do that right now. Am I aware that by feeling these feelings that I am actually not putting my attention in a place that's going to benefit me? So right now, the whole point of what we should be doing, or what we could be doing at least at this point, is really contemplating, what am I going to pay attention to in my life? What am I going to focus on? Am I going to actually live a life where I'm aware of what it is that I'm doing, of what it is that I want to get from my life, and of how I'm going to move there? We don't need to have a fully blown plan, fully mapped out every step of the way from today for the rest of our lives, and having some sense of what's important to me, what I want to pay attention to, where I want to put my awareness, and what I want my life to look like is really important. So spending some time right now, while we have the time, to think, to contemplate, to meditate, give ourselves that ability to just really be introspective for even a short period of time. Take 5 or 10 minutes a day and just allow yourself to think, to meditate, to be with yourself. And you'll see that your attention will shift because you will know where you would like your attention to be.